Grab me with that.
Okay?
I got you, Gavin. I won't leave you hanging.
I can't walk.
Be nice to each other.
Oh, thank you.
We always try to be nice to each other.
Hunter Hawks, track and field. What do you do in track and
How's your
field?
day been, Mr. Luca?
I ran long
It's
distance.
off today. Everything's like off or not working right. It's so weird.
Ran hurdles for a little bit.
But thanks for asking. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. We are doing the odd problems only. Before you start, go ahead and change number 3. I need to give you one in a vertex form, okay? So mark that off, and let's do one in a vertex form. So we write y equal, number 3, -2, x, pick a number, smaller than 5, plus 1 or minus 1. Just plus 1, square, pick another number, that's not a 1. Minus or plus? Minus 3. Awesome. All right.
Where are we at? Review?
So, on number 3,
Why did you make us
change
change it?
it. Okay. Because there's a vertex form on the test. Yes, sir. No, it's in your practice packet. The other one. The other packet. Okay.
It's like, Unit 2, Part 2 review.
Yeah. You got it? All right, we'll come back to that in a little bit. Okay, guys, here we go. Part 1, you're going to have another part, but that one's going to be another test, okay? So this is only 2.1 to 2.4. Now, you are being recorded. Just thought I'd let you know. You guys are being recorded, okay? All right, here we go. It says, identify the vertex, the axis of symmetry, minimum and maximum value, the y-intercept, and the number of roots. So, the formula for axis of symmetry is x equals -b over 2a. That is the formula for your axis of symmetry. So if you forget, you might want to write that down, okay? And I'm going to kind of talk to you about what's on the test and what I would want and all that. So make sure you pay attention. Here we go. Number 1. Y equals x squared minus 12x plus 40. This is in standard form. You want to find the axis of symmetry. Okay, so AOS. X equal -b. And so negative 12, a negative becomes a positive, divided by 2 times a, which is 1. That's a multiplication symbol right there. So I just plug that in. All you have to do is plug that into your calculator, just like so. Okay? What's a negative? A negative become a positive. So 12 divided by parentheses 2 times a, just like that. And what answer did you get? 6. So x is equal to 6. There's your axis of symmetry. And there's your answer. Do you have to write x in the answer? Yes. Do not just write 6. Make sure you write x. Okay? You see this part right here? That part? This here is showing your setup. That part right there is you showing your setup. Do you guys see that? That's what you're going to do when it says, show me your setup.
Did that say 2 times 1?
2 times 1, yes. You could have wrote a positive 12, or you could write negative 12. See that? I don't care which way you do it, because negative is a positive. Okay? So there's your axis of symmetry. This right there shows your setup. That's 2 points. That's another 2 points. That's 4 points already. You guys see it?
Yep.
All right, so there's your axis of symmetry. Now, let's look for the vertex. To find the vertex, this is what you would do to show your setup, how you work the problem. See how x is 6? You're going to plug into that. So you're going to put 6 squared minus 12 times 6 plus 40. There is your setup for your vertex. Those are the only 2 things I'm going to ask for the setup. It's your axis of symmetry and your vertex, because everything else you can get on the calculator. Let's go ahead and type that into the calculator and see what we get. Let me clear that. Parentheses, 6 squared minus 12 times 6 plus 40. And what did you get? 4. So what is your vertex? 6 comma 4. If you leave off this part, I'm taking a point away. Should you have a parentheses around that point?
Yes.
Yes, because that is a point on a graph. So your vertex is 6 comma negative 4. Sorry, 6 comma 4, not negative 4. Oops. Boy, I can't talk either. You ask me how I am? See, I'm just off today. Any questions so far? All right, now we're going to graph, okay? We can find all the other information from a graph. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, by the way, what is your y-intercept? It's always this number right here. What's this number? 40. So write 0 comma 40. Do you have to have parentheses around that? Yes. Could you also write y equals 40? Yes. That is also acceptable. This one or this one, okay? But if you just write 40, I'm going to mark it wrong. All right. Let's go ahead and graph. Axis of symmetry is at 6. Everyone good? Okay. So now the next part, your vertex is 6, 4. So we're going to go to 6, 4. Can everyone see the red okay? What am I going to do to go get all the other points?
Put something in the calculator.
Plug in the calculator. Go to y equal. Type in the equation. X squared minus 12x plus 40. Just like that. Okay? What do I push to go get all my other points? Second table, second graph. Right? Go to your vertex, which is 6, 4. From there, go 2 points up. 1, 2. So graph that, 4, 8. Next one, 5, 5. There's your vertex. 2 down, 7, 5. 8, 8. You see how it starts to take shape? And there you have your parabola. Can you have a sharp point right here? No. A sharp point is an absolute value. So make sure there's a curvature. Okay? There you go. All right. Any questions about the graphing? Okay. Next part. Use your graph. Is that a minimum or a maximum? Minimum. That's the lowest, shows the lowest point, right? Okay. How many roots do you have? How many times is it crossing the x-axis right here?
0.
So it is 0 root. Okay? Let me tell you how many points this is worth. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 points. One problem.
How many problems is it going to be?
It's worth 100 points. Any questions?
About
About 11. Any questions on number 1? You guys good? All right. Good job. Okay. Notice what I asked. Number 3. Now, do you guys see the setup? I just want to make sure you know what I'm asking you when I say setup, okay? This is why I need to see what you plug in, not the formula. All right, number 3. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is in vertex form. Here's your H, here's your K. See how it has a parentheses and has a square? So we're going to start off with our vertex. What is your vertex going to be? -1, -3. Isn't that right? Oh, I don't think you guys can see that very well. Let me write it in black. Vertex is what? -1, comma, -3. Okay? What is your axis of symmetry? What is x equal to? What number is x right here? What number is x right here? -1.
Do we have to label like AOS and stuff like that?
It will be on your tests Everything will be on your test for me, make it easy for me to grade. Okay. Do you have to write an X there?
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't, you'll be wrong, okay? All right, how do you show your setup for your axis of symmetry? Well, in your vertex form, you really don't have to show any work. So if you would, just write H is equal to -1, okay? That would be your setup for your axis of symmetry. You guys see that? That's all you have to write, okay? For the vertex, your setup, there's really not anything you can plug in like you did on number 1. So if you would, H is equal to -1, comma, K is equal to what number? -3. That is acceptable for your setup for the vertex. If you'll write that, I'll be very pleased. That's all you have to do. Got it?
Can I just put H and K above them? Like H and then K?
H equals -1, K equals -3.
If you just write like the H above 1 and then the K above the -3, is that fine? Like you-
There's a box that you're gonna have to fill it in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's a box. All right. You guys good? Because you really don't plug anything in the vertex, right? You just kind of do. All right, let's go ahead and graph before we do everything else. Axis of symmetry, -1. Okay? Your vertex is at -1, -3. Right there. All right. What am I going to do to go get the points for my graph? The y equal. There we go. Type it just like you see it. -2 parentheses, x plus 1 in parentheses square. What is it? -3. Not -3, but -3. Go to your table. Go find your vertex, which is -1, -3. Like that. 2 points up. So -3 and 11. Ooh, I can't even graph it there. -2, -5, -2, -5. There's your vertex 0, -5. And then the other one I can't graph either, right? So just try to get at least 3 to 5 points. There's your graph. Okay. Well, I didn't mean that one. I wanted to cross it at least once. Oh well. Any questions so far? You have a maximum? Now, what is your y-intercept? It is always 0. Can I go to my calculator and just look right there? What's your y-intercept? 0. What's that number? -5. Okay. What else? Number of roots. How many times is it crossing the x-axis? Is it ever crossing the x-axis? There's your x-axis. Is it crossing it all? No, so it is a 0 root. Can you have 2 roots? Yes. Can you have 1 root? Yes. Is your quadratic ever going to cross the x-axis 3 times? No. It's always 0, 1, or 2. Okay? So, right there, it doesn't. Now, if it comes down and hits the x-axis and goes up, how many root is that one? 1 root. If it comes down and crosses the x-axis twice or even go up, how many root is that one? 2 roots. You guys see? All you have to do is look at the your graph, okay? Any questions about those? Not bad? All right. Okay. Number 5 and 7. Here we go. Standard form of an equation. The standard form of a circle looks like this. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. That is a standard form equation. It's also called center radius. Maria, can you see okay? You want to move up? Why don't you move up for a little bit and then you can go back down. There's a seat right there, honey, up front. Yeah, that way, and then you can move back. You don't have your glasses today. Yeah. I know. I see you. Ooh. Ooh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer.
Contact, but I also don't.
Okay. You can scoot that table to where you can kind of face it easily. And then when we're done, you can move back, okay? Yeah. Can you see it okay? I'll try to make it bigger. All right. I know. Okay, number 5. So let's take a look. Here's your H, here's your K. So you are wanting to write this in equation form, standard form. So x, opposite of positive, is negative 4 squared. Plus, what's opposite of negative 2? Positive 2 equals, now, this is where students mess up. Some of them will take a square root of this. Do you see how your formula right here is an r squared? So what do you do with this one? You're actually going to square it. So what is square root of 139 squared? 139. Okay? That's it. That's all you have to write. Any questions about that? Okay. Try number 7. You guys try number 7. All right. Lily, do number 7 for me. How would you write that equation?
X plus 14
Uh-huh.
squared.
Good.
Y plus 6 squared equals 2.
Not 2.
Equals 4.
4 squared.
4 squared.
What's 4 squared?
16.
16. Good. All right. I'm going to tell you where students usually miss, okay? This is where they miss. If I were you, make a little note for yourself. Yes, sir.
Can we put 4 squared right there?
Absolutely. You can put, instead of 16, can you write 4 square like that? That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. All right. Let me tell you where students mess up. They forget when to square, and they forget when to take a square root. That's where they mess up, okay? So, look at this problem right here. Is it asking you for a formula? Is it asking you for an equation? If it's asking you for an equation, you want to square the radius. Did you guys see that? So if it's asking you for the equation, you're going to square the radius. Make yourself a little note, because I'm going to tell you this is where students miss. That R right there. They don't know when to take a square root, and they don't know when to take a square. Those are not the same thing. One is inverse of the other. So if it asked you for the formula of the circle, make sure you square the radius, because it gives you the radius. Got it? All right, let's go to the next page, and I'll show you the next part. Okay, we're going to do number 9 and number 10. This time, what is it asking you to find? The center and the radius. If it is asking you to find the radius from an equation, you are going to take the square root. See the difference in that? If it's asking you for the center and the radius, take a square root. It is a very, very common mistake that students make. Okay? So let's take a look. Number 9. What is your center? Negative 12 and 7. Correct? See how it's always opposite? Now, what is this number here? This is r squared is equal to 4. See how that is part of the equation? So how are you going to find the radius? You're going to do what? Take a square root. What's the square root of 4? 2. So your radius is a 2. common mistakes that students make. You guys see the difference in the two? Okay? So, any questions about that? All right, try number 10. Tag, tell me what is the center on number 10.
-2, -4.
Very good. Do you have to have parentheses around them? Yes. Okay? Because it's a point on a graph. Now, your radius, this right here, is an r square. Correct? Square root of 171? So how do you find the radius? You take a square root. So what did you guys get for r? Here's the square root. So what's the square root of 171? 13.1. And there you have it. Wait, it's a decimal. Is that wrong? It's not wrong. Okay, good. You guys are getting better at your decimals. Any questions about the difference between numbers 5, number 7, and number 9 and number 10? You guys see the difference? That's where a student's going to miss, okay? So be very careful with that radius. All right. So if it's asking for the radius, take a square root. If it's asking for the formula, you square it. All right, any good questions? Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 13, you're going to identify the center, the radius, and then do what? Make a graph, okay? So, what's my center? Justin, what's the center for number 13?
1, -4,
Very good. And what is your radius?
2.
So r squared is equal to 4, so r is equal to 2. Everyone see the difference? All right. Center, 1, -4. There's your center. From your center, go out 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 up, 2 down. You guys see a shape? Okay? So there's your circle. Just don't make it look too boxy. Like, don't have sharp corners, okay? Make it kind of curved. And there you have number 13, just like that. Any questions? All right, let's go to number 15. Kobe, what's my center? Opposite of positive 3, -3. You see how there's no k? So that number is 0. Very good. And r squared is equal to 5, so what is your radius? Square root of 5 is what number? 2.2. 2.3, 2.2. Okay. It says 2.2. We'll do 2.2. Now, when you guys graph 2.2, 2.3, it's actually 2.2. Sorry. I'm not going to go and get a magnifying glass and say, ooh, that looks more like 2.3. Just get it close, okay? I mean, like, don't be on the mark. And I'm good with that. All right, -3, 0. There's your center. From there, go out 2.2. So 1, 2, a little bit more. 1, 2 to the right, a little bit more. 1, 2 up, a little more. 1, 2 down, a little bit more. You guys see that right there? That's all you got to do. And there you have circle. Hey, mine looks pretty good. It looks round. Usually it looks like a box with curvy corners. I'm pleased. My circle looks good. Best thing today. Woo. All right. Any questions? Read the direction, center, radius, and a graph. Okay? All right. Next part. Standard form. Right here. Of what? A circle. Basically, this was your quiz, wasn't it? Is that what you guys did? 2.4? This was your quiz. Now I'm going to show you the long way. I'm going to show you what I will accept as work. You guys ready? But I'm going to show you the long way first. Let's do number 19 so I have more room, and then we'll go 17. Okay. Move the numbers over. What you do to one side, you do to the other side, just like that, okay? This is number 19. All right, let's put the x together. They want to go to Texas, so we're going to put x squared plus 4x plus a blank and put parentheses around it. Everybody good? Now we're going to put the y's together. Y squared plus 24y plus a blank in your parentheses. Equals, what is 0 minus 105? Negative 105. Okay, I could extend this on, but I'm going to go down so you guys can kind of see it on paper, okay? Now, how many blanks do you have on the left? 2. If you have 2 on the left, you have to have 2 on the right. Because what you do to one side, you got to do it to the other. See, you got to keep that balance. You guys good? Okay. Everybody good so far? Now, what do we do with this one? We take half of the one in the middle. So what's half of 4? 2 square. And you're going to square it. What you do to one side, you do to the other side, just like that. Okay. What is half of 24? 12. What you do to one side, you do to the other side, just like that. Right? Everybody good? Okay. Now look at this. You're going to factor that. This now comes out to be x plus 2 squared. You see how the x and the 2 comes down? Plus, do it on the other side as well. Y plus 12 squared. Equal. There's my equal. What are you guys going to do with all of this? Add it all together. So you have negative 105 plus, what was it, 2 squared? Oops. Plus 12 squared. Make sure you put parentheses around them in case you have a negative number. And what did I get? 43. There's your r squared. And there you have your answer. I think that's a lot of work when I've shown you how to do it shorter. Don't you think? You guys see a pattern every time when you were doing that work? You started to see a pattern? Okay? We're going to do it the shortcut way. All right. You can do that, or you can do this part. Here we go. Minus 162, correct? Okay. Put the x together. What is half of 6? 3. So plus 3 parentheses. Ignore that. That shouldn't be there. Okay. Put the y's to, remember there's a plus between them. Y, what's half of 26? 13. So what you're going to add over here? 3 squared plus 13 squared. Do you guys see how you can just do it all at one time? So you've already got this written out. What can you do with all this?
Add it all together.
Add it all together. So negative 162 plus 3 squared plus 13. Oops, I forgot parentheses. And what did I get? 16. See how easier that is? How shorter that version is? That was from your quiz. Okay? You guys want to try 18 and 19? You want to try that, or are you good? Want to try another one? Okay. Let's look at number 18 real quick. I'm going to do it in green. I mean in black. I don't know my colors. Move my numbers over so you got negative 29. Okay. You guys ready? X. What's half of 6? 3. So plus 3. So plus 3 squared. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. Plus, put your y's together. What is half of negative 20? Negative 10 squared. So plus negative 10 squared. Okay, and I came down because I wanted you guys to see the numbers. Okay, everybody good? Do you have the first part of the center done? How are you going to get the r squared?
You gotta,
You add it all together. You could even do zeros, man, come on. 0 minus 29 plus 3 squared plus, what was the other one? Negative 10 squared. Put parentheses around them and you get 80.
Why did you put 0?
Well, just because it's 0 minus 29.
Oh,
But you didn't have to. Because 0 add or subtract any number is that number. I was being silly with putting a 0 because that's what you see. But you don't have to. Okay. Any questions? All right. Okay, guys, your test is next week. You guys good? Okay, work on the even problems. You have any questions, let me know, okay? If you are done with it, go ahead and let me grade it. Hang on just a moment.
Hey, Brian,